for joining us to celebrate the life of my dad. Hey, Dad, I want to thank you for your love and patience and strength. Thank you for sharing all your God-given talents with us. My dad taught me how to fix just about everything around a house and fix any problem on an automobile. He taught me his motivating factor behind being a jack of all trades. And it has to do with this. He taught me the motivating factor is you can save so much money, right? You just have to study the problem. Many times we team up and take this urge to fix things and save money to the extreme. So sometimes we get in a little bit over our head, but he was always so resourceful and we'd figure it out and we make it through. My dad loved to take us, the family, to Galveston fishing. When I was about 10 and my brother was about 8, my dad started taking us fishing at the South Jetties. This type of fishing was so exciting. Me and my brother, the night before, we just wouldn't sleep. It seemed like every time we went to the jetties, the waves were so rough. And so we'd get all that. All the waves would hit the jetties and we'd get wet. That was so much fun for two little guys, right? Two brothers. And my dad would just go with us and get wet too, But one day the conditions were so bad that a wave crashed into the jetties and washed us off, The tackle, the ice chest, the bait bucket, Dad, my brother David, all washed away. And so my dad was like, oh, okay, fish all the stuff out of the shallow water here, and we're gonna keep going. So that was, how he was, just keep going. And we recounted that story so many times throughout the years when we'd get together and it'd be like, hey, Dad, you remember that time we got washed up off the jetties? He'd be the same thing. Hey, Dad, you remember that time we got washed off the jetties? All laughs all around, right? So we share that laugh with you right now, Dad. My dad was a man of few words. It took me a really long time to appreciate his quiet nature. I was a grown man before I realized that men of few words are men of action, and that strong men like him express their love not with words but with their actions. He would say, let's get together and work on this lawnmower. Sure, bring your suit over, I'll hem it out and take the sleeves out, and no problem. And sure, I'll come over and help you cut a tree down. That was one of his life stories, is cutting trees down. And then later on, I gave him my iPhone, and we found him watching YouTube videos on just lumberjack stuff. People knocking trees down. I just love that. And there was one time, Luis went over to help him at the house, and it was lumberjack day. So he couldn't climb on the ladder anymore, so he had my son cut that one, hurry up before Mom comes. She's not gonna like it. Oh my goodness. So my dad, he was a man of service. He would always tell me service is so important. As a tailor, that was his life's work. The tailor has to be about service. The tailor has to cater to his customers so they can look their best for that important meeting or that important family event. The details make all the difference. My dad always dressed really well with coat and tie when he went to work, when he came to church. I remember when we were small, my mom would take us to the mall where he worked, and we would meet him for a coffee break. So we'd go to a diner and sit and wait for him and come. You could watch him come in, he's all dressed up, a very dignified presence, and then a big smile when he greeted us. We grew up here at St. Patrick's. The pews were a little different back then. We used to sit right over that way, about 3 rows back. And I have fond memories of being here. It feels like home. We came here. We were supposed to go to Assumption, but they had the Spanish Mass here, so we were here at 12 o'clock every Sunday. And then as I grew up and I had my own kids, we would come to Mass and find them sitting right over there. They'd be so surprised and so happy to see us. And then we'd go to the hall to have breakfast and cafecito, platicar. And they were always so happy to introduce us to their friends, and especially that couple that Father Tom mentioned as later days here. But it's always been a joyful place here at St. Patrick's. So, Dad, I pray that you are in the presence of Jesus now. I imagine that heaven is a highly organized place, and it has different departments. So maybe you can ask Jesus to assign you to the tailor shop. I'm sure there's angels and saints that may need their robes altered from time to time. I love you, Dad. I'll see you later. And like he used to say, nos vemos al rato.